Hey now, Leafeator here with a guide on how to jungle Keeper of the KOTL. Now this isn't going to be a traditional guide like your Nature's Prophet or your Axe jungling. This guide's aimed at playing a Keeper of the Light where you're being very greedy in the jungle, but if need be can quickly rotate to lane, can help your carry, can pull the lane also, check runes, and do all of the standard support stuff. Our goal here is to get level 6 before 6 minutes and buy all the support items. So we're going to get our Chenkles up and be well on our way to our first item by then. Alternatively, you can also just stick with Bram Boots and Russian Ags or go for a ridiculous mech timing, but it's probably safest just to play it a little more standard. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and throw our first point into Illuminate, and then the items we're going to get in the fountain are our Courier, one of the 2 wards, make sure someone gets the other one, Quilling Blade, and 4 Clarities. You could potentially replace one of the Clarities for an Iron Branch, which would give you enough mana to have 2 Illuminates at level 1, but I like to have a little bit of extra security in case one of your Clarities gets knocked off. It is super important to buy these items right away and start making your way to lane, because the purpose of the Quilling Blade is that you're going to need to be a bit of a lumberjack in order to start this off properly. We're going to need to be cutting down a lot of trees, and to do that we should get there as early as possible so that we can cut all those trees. So keep on doing your best Timbersaw impersonation. Cutting down all these trees is what's going to allow us to pull through easily and also stack the camps north, both the hard and the medium camp right here. Go ahead and help your team with the 0-minute rune. That's also important if they need it. And don't get too crazy. Make sure not to block any of these 30-second spawns because we're going to need all of the creep spawns we can get here. The way this is going to work is that we will illuminate the medium camp, and we're going to want to start charging that at 51. Once that fires, we're immediately going to turn around and auto-attack the hard camp, and then just walk up to the river. As soon as they stop attacking you, we want to pop our first Clarity, and then come down to the single camp, because we're going to pull the lane. If you do it right, you will 100% stack both of these camps, and then you will be able to make it to the small camp right in time to pull it through to the lane. It'll just be a single pull, but that's okay because we're going to pull through and use our Illuminate to start farming the medium camp again. A well-timed Illuminate will get the kills and grab your double stack to go ahead and pull it on through to the creeps, denying the entire wave. Make sure to get as many last hits as possible here for optimal gold. I'm shitty and missed some, but whatever. Could have done it better, I guess. But yeah, start charging your third Illuminate for the medium camp, which will kill off most of it and give you level 2 so you can level up your free mana spell. Keep a close eye on the clock so that you make sure to stack the hard camp again by pulling down at 153. It's a little bit tricky, so you might want to practice this one. It's one of the harder stacks to pull down. You gotta get it just right, especially when it starts to stack up more. And yeah, you can either decide to grab the rune because it's going to be 2 minutes, or go back to lane and pull through again. Also, remember that this is an ideal scenario where it's okay to pull the lane a couple times. You really need to be communicating with your team because it's possible that pulling the lane will be disastrous for them. If that's the case, your goal isn't some crazy fast KOTL timing, it's to help your team win. So don't screw them over by sticking 100% to some silly build. Keep using your Clarities when it's smart, so to keep your mana up. We buy them to use them, so don't just let them sit there. Don't forget about them. And buy the Courier, the Flying Courier, when it's up. And you're just going to want to keep on doing the same thing here. Illuminate to pull through, farm the creeps, stack your hard camp, check the rune, help your lane if you need it. And assuming that we're uninterrupted here in the jungle, our farm is pretty good. Grab your third skill point back into Illuminate, and if you have the mana, go ahead and use it to start to weaken the hard camp. If they have a Satyr, it'll be a little bit harder to because of the health aura, so you might want to save until Illuminate level 3. But generally, you can go ahead and start using your extra mana and Illuminates to start killing that camp now quicker. Just make sure you're stacking the hard camp at every 53 mark, because we're going to need all those stacks in order to get the best timing possible. Keep pulling if you can. Notice the Mud Golem change. You can aggro them with Illuminate, which is awesome. And also, you can only pull half the lane if you practice your timing, which could be even better for your carry. Take your 4th skill point back in Chakra Magic, which, by the way, you should be using on yourself off cooldown this entire time to keep your mana up. It's kind of important because Illuminate's expensive. Also, the cooldown decrease helps now. And now we're going to want to go ahead, stack the hard camp one last time and start to kill it off with our Illuminate. After a couple, you should hit level 5 where you skill Illuminate again, but keep in mind this point's a little bit flexible, so we can go into another skill point if need be. If you want to keep farming, though, like I do here, just grab that Illuminate and continue to do the same thing again and again. You can see I get Trankles and my level 6 before 6 minutes, and here I stay in the jungle a wee bit longer to grab 7 in my ult, but all of that is completely up to you. Know what's going on in the game and make the best decision about what you need to be doing after you hit level 6, because it might not be staying here. Oh yeah, and finally, one last note about the difference between doing this on Radiant and Dire side, because it is very, very different. On Dire side, you can potentially do a dedicated jungle farm of the 2 medium camps and the hard camp by pulling all of them at the same time after cutting down some trees, which, if you saw that game with Owie today at the Summit 3, he got a really quick Ags, and it worked pretty well, and he kind of won the game for his team. On a Radiant side, you can't really do that. It's significantly harder to just dedicate to the jungle. So we use some lane pulls, and we be a little bit more supporty than dedicated jungler like an Enigma per se. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this useful in some way. I am definitely going to be doing more video content on a consistent basis now, thanks mostly to all the positive feedback. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy on my insides. So, if you like it, please subscribe! Yeah, woo! I just actually passed 1K off of the 2 videos, and I'm kind of flattered. Yeah. So I just want to keep on trying to do cool, useful, fun things. You can also follow me on Twitter at Leafeator, and if there are any heroes you would like to see a jungle guide for next week, let me know in the comments. Thanks, guys. You the best.